All right, it is 3 o'clock. Welcome everyone to Community CPA's 3 p.m. webinar. Today is Thursday, so we have our guest speaker, and today we have the founder and creative director of Gateway Dance Theater, Penny Furgerson, who is here with us. Hi, Penny. Thank you for joining. So before we jump into our interview and hear more from Penny, we'll go through a few basics as well to start off with. As many of you probably already know about Community CPA, we'll be brief on it, but we are a regional accounting firm. We have 3 branches, so one in Des Moines, one in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and then one in Iowa, Coralville. So right now our firm is organized into these different accounting specialties. So accounting, advisory and legal, audit, payroll, and tax team. So these functional teams are meant to be specialists that will help you with more depth. And collectively, our firm speaks 9 different languages to help serve our clients. We are a sharing firm, so we love to share our expertise, and that's part of why we have these webinars. About our CEO and managing partner, many of you already know Ying Sa. She serves on the National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, a federal advisory committee to the IRS to kind of support and taxpayers. So any issues you have with and recommendations to improve the IRS, feel free to email her. And she also has her first book out and is working on her second book, Appointment with Ying at 10 a.m., which will be about how to build your business. Just a no responsibility disclaimer, we always go through this. So just take what is given here with a grain of salt. And of course, situations are always fluid, especially during the pandemic. So now, Penny, thank you again for coming on. We would like to introduce our guest today. So as I mentioned, she is the founder of Gateway Dance Theater, and she co-founded it with her late husband, Lee, in 1972. And they provide urban arts and programming in the Des Moines metro area. And something about Penny and Gateway Dance, for those of you who are familiar with the Immigrant Entrepreneurs Summit, Penny was a recipient. That was 2019, wasn't that, Penny?
Yes, 2019. Time flies real fast.
Yes. So she was an award recipient for her work in the community. So Penny, I didn't know if you would like to say any introductions about you and about Gateway Dance.
Well, yes, I would. I didn't know whether you wanted to show the information first, but
yes, I can do that. Would you like me to share the video now?
Well, that's all right. Yeah, you go ahead, because then we can take it from there.
Let me figure out how to do.
All right. Well, while Catherine's trying to get the video, thank you. I'm honored to be the guest. We began Gateway Dance Theater because we were looking, my husband and myself, we were looking for how we could be involved in civic activities, especially in the arts. And we both grew up with families with that kind of background, and really couldn't find something that was very diverse and reflected us. And so we wanted our children, we had a young family, and we lived in a neighborhood that we saw that most of the people did not have access to the arts. So we kept looking around, and that's how we found it. We finally said, okay, well, we better get going. We're talking about it. So it's my husband who really said, uh, we better just do it. Not thinking it would, back in 72, not thinking that we would survive that long. We thought just 1 year we'd make it. So that's what we started with, and our whole trust has never changed. We feel the arts is really important to engage people, to communicate, to educate, and then we like to collaborate with diverse communities because our lives are enriched, and I think all our lives are enriched that way. And so that, and our vision has been and always has been to bring diversity to the arts. So, with that long intro, I let Kathy show a slide.
Awesome. So this is a brief clip on a performance that Gateway Dance. All right, so that was the clip of the video. Penny, did you want to say anything about that particular performance?
I would like to. It was 35 years that we were celebrating, and we also we believe in using the arts for activism. In fact, we've now coined up the word activism by bringing issues and social justice. We think we can communicate and engage through the arts. So we wanted to do something on the environment, and you can't do everything. And we felt that water was crucial to our survival. So we did a dance suite based on water, and we didn't want to just call it water. And in researching, we found this proverb of water is life from the Native American. And now it's become a big slogan, but back then nobody knew about it. And so that's a suite of dances, and we use different kinds of music. And if you notice, we did a gospel suite, which comes from African American roots. Our dancers are very diverse, and everybody who's in the company is. Everybody's open. And a lot of the dancers have got that training from Gateway Dance Theater. We don't try to be a professional dance company, but we try to do as much of a performance that we feel could reach an audience. So, so a lot of the dancers that did gospel suite had never done contemporary modern dance, and some had done anything. And I was trained in classical Indian dance, Bharatanatyam. And then when I came here, I just wanted to dance. So I got involved in a lot of things. And I think that very classical piece, one of is African American, and she had never knew anything about Indian dance. Now she's very good at teaching. Not here, she's moved to Chicago. And so it's wonderful to see. We learn a lot from people. So, and that's what we wanted to do, was share our cultures and also have the larger community know that we have a very vibrant culture and we need to share it to the larger community. We kind of tend to do it in our own little communities. So I thought doing that program, we did it at Drake University. So that was that. And then we also do, we're multi-generational. And I think Kathy knows that because you've been there. We teach,
My son.
we teach from very young kids to grandparents. And so on the stage, we really had about 3 generations performing. And we didn't have our younger folks on the stage for this concert, but we have had before. And we started to do camps. Do you want to continue with the slideshow, or you want to ask?
Sure. Let me ask you our first question. So as an entrepreneur, what keeps you motivated and inspired in your work? I know that your work is always inspirational, right, with the arts, but in general, how do you keep the momentum going?
There's always something going on. And as entrepreneurs who we're chatting with right now, a nonprofit has to work like a business, even though we don't make any money out of it, and you struggle to keep it afloat. But so you're always searching for new ways to reinvent yourself or do things, and how to get your audience and people involved, motivated. So like we started a smart camp, which wasn't just dance. It was with young people. We had visual arts, we had poetry, of course we had dance, and they had music. And we combined that all. And at the end, they did a showcase. And nobody could just pick and choose what they wanted. Everybody had to do everything. And it made them more aware of what was going on. And I think the clip you're going to show is the one where we changed from that to Sassy Camp. Like you say, you keep changing things as the world around you changes too. And science is so important, and we wanted to include STEM, but not do it separately. And actually, my background is in science. And so we did the Sassy Camp. It's called the Summer Arts and Science Intensive. And the last one we did was on the very first one was photosynthesis. Again, we wanted to see what can we use that's with the environment. And you can't exist without green plants and without the photosynthesis, which takes the carbon dioxide and creates oxygen. So that's what they did. And so I'll let Kathy show you some of the pieces. We had a science person from Iowa State University, and we had poetry and dance and everything combined. And so
I might have to show that later. I'm sorry, Penny. I was not able to pull up those slides, but we do have a question from the audience that I thought you might want to address since we're talking about entrepreneurship. They're asking how you got started in terms of funding. the nonprofit?
Nada, zero. We just, how we started was we went to a community center, and then we started. We didn't even know if there was interest. So we went on a TV show, afternoon TV show that I didn't think anybody watched because I just worked all the time. So I didn't know, but apparently enough people watched. We said we're going to try this out, and so come and join us. We'll be teaching dance, and you don't need to pay anything. All ages are welcome. So we had the community center for free, and then my husband and I, we just volunteered our time, and we have throughout, and that's kind of how we stay in existence. But we don't feel that we can expect that of other people to come and help us. So that first time we had about 34 people, and they wanted more, and I told my husband I'd never taught class, and he said, "But you dance, and if you don't teach them, who is?" And I said, "I do Indian dance, Bharatanatyam, and these are mainly African Americans." And he said, "Well, just do what you can," and they loved it and picked it up, and I started learning other forms of dance too. So how do we keep afloat? We fundraise. We try to fundraise. We're not very good at that. We ask volunteers are very important to us. We definitely don't want to not accept anybody because of financial reasons. So we never turn anybody away because of that. And actually, when we started, we didn't charge anybody because they didn't. The community we were serving really had very low income. And then we started writing grants, and then my sons were involved, and so so it really became a family affair. So yes, we look to entrepreneurs to help us, and like even whether you come with ideas or you come with just a sponsorship or buying an ad on a program, and being an audience and having your kids, your family, everyone, from grandparents participate. So I think it's the passion of the people we have surrounding us that keeps it going. I don't know if I answered the question.
I think so. I know that you have spoken to me in the past about partnerships, and then now you're talking about, your relationship with the community. So building relationships around trust and respect is important for success. Would you agree with this? And how should nonprofits see this in building their nonprofit?
Yes, I think that's important in anything you do. You need to have respect for the people you work with, and if you have respect for them, then they have respect for you. And I also feel that we don't want to dictate to people what we should do. We kind of keep it open, but we'll come up with ideas, and it kind of is organic. It changes with whoever's with us. So how do we build the trust? Well, the first thing was like we were new to Des Moines, and when we opened up, the people came, and then we were going to just do it for about a month to see. And one thing led to the next, and we just continued going. And then we also took families to see performances where they could see people of color. There was nothing going on in Des Moines at the time, and we want them to see some quality live performances. So we would take them to Chicago, Kansas City, or Minneapolis. And then later, we applied for funds through the Iowa Arts Council and did get artists to come and do residencies with us.
Penny, are you still there? She might have gotten cut off for.
I don't know if I.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry, you were saying that you were showing people different cultural, and so that is how you built trust, right?
Right, because it just happens very naturally. Uh, you come in, and people always like to eat, and you bring your food, and it's different, and everybody used to laugh at me because we would invite people to our home, and this is from way back, not even before the dance company started. We And you shared your your food, and then that kind of brings up conversation, and then your customs, and um, and one story leads to another, and it's interesting because we've had people when we did Shakuntala. Well, that was a play that we did that is um, because all the theater that we could see here was from Western point of view. And Shakuntala is a tale from India, but like Shakespeare, you can put it in any space you want. And so we had people of different ethnicities. Uh, there was a Brazilian who played the king. The heroine's father was African. Her brother was Chinese. Her sister was another nationality. And so everybody got together and they said, we didn't expect this, but this is a lot of fun. And we didn't, I always felt people picked for roles because they look a certain way or to play that character. But I always feel our emotions are the same no matter where you come from. And if you're honest with your emotion and delivering your line, and people loved it. We did a preview of Drake to see whether it would work, and we actually raised some money there to see and did a survey. Would you like to see the whole thing? And they said yes. When will you have it? And I said, well, we got to raise funds, and on the spot, people put some money there for us, and then we did it in the summer of 2016 at Drake, and this was the first time anything like that had been done. And then the following year, we did the full thing at Drake, not Drake, the Viking Theater. And then we went on the road. We went to 5 different cities in Iowa, and even went to the Fringe Festival in Kansas City. So,
wow, I love how that built. What you were doing. That's great. So yeah, when we're speaking about relationships, obviously there's, for a nonprofit, there's different sorts, right? So there's the people who are volunteering, the people you're serving, sometimes those overlap, sometimes they don't, and then donors and supporters, right? So how do you manage those different personalities and contributions towards your organization?
it, it, how do we manage the different personalities? Um, yeah, you have to. Each one should get something out of it. Uh, for instance, I'm just going to use if CPA is a sponsor for us, then we feel that the employees or your clientele should be able to participate with us. And then we would also of course, uh, advertise your services. And who knows, some of our own people might make use of your service. So, for a small corporation, nonprofit, it is really hard because uh, uh, we, we we have difficulty getting funds from the funders because we always fall under the tier of their budget, and then they say you get only certain percentage of your budget. We could pay you no more than that, and so you're paying a catch 22. And really would like to see where where funders would give you like a 3-year plan. We're asked to do strategic plans for 3 years. So if you have a plan like that and you're funded for those 3 years, then you can build on it and build over again. So uh, uh, we also are trying to say that you can, without taking money out of your pocket, but just from your purchases, say with Amazon, it we get a percentage of it, and it becomes pretty good. If you do matching, we ask employees because they're companies, they have match funds. So as some of them, if they spend time volunteer, the company matches that volunteer time. And so you think of different ways you can raise money. And another is people in United Way have, most corporations expect their employees to give, but you can check the box at Gateway Dance Theaters there. It may not be in the box, but if you ask for it and write it in, we are uh, we are a member of that. So, uh, but mainly, we really would like to um, get uh, the whole community to participate.
Yeah, sorry, 1 second. I will want to share your contact with people so that they can get in touch with you and with Gateway Dance. I know that there's some amazing programming that people can get involved in. Sorry,
So
it's
right
not.
now, we're doing virtual classes. So you can, we did a camp that was virtual too. And we were unsure how that would work out. And it was Sassy Camp. And I think it's on YouTube. It's a 1 minute uh, slideshow. And that's when we did photosynthesis. The one that we did virtually was on wind because it's a source of energy and much more. And it was interesting. After we finished doing the camp, we had to do the direct show here in Des Moines. Um, so we have a website, we have a Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we have Twitter, but we haven't been using it much.
Uh,
Um,
so in terms of what your needs are right now, how can somebody support Gateway Dance?
Most of all, we'd like you to be part of us if you can. Uh, if it, any technical skill or any skill, you don't have to be uh, an artist because we can do some of the things, just the stuff like you see, the technology we're using. We could use help in there. We could use help when we uh, have performances, um, to help people get seated, to to make up the programs, help us write the programs, get them done. So there's all kinds of ways you can. Can I ask a question of
Yeah,
the participants?
Yeah.
Where I'd like to know about from each of them where what organization or who they part of.
All right. I'll see. We'll monitor the chat to see if they are. They'll put anything in there. Otherwise, I will follow up with you on the participants, Penny, so that you can reach out to them directly, and we'll keep you in contact with them. And then, of course, I just wanted to remind everyone as we conclude that our webinars are every day, 3 p.m., except on Sundays. So somebody says president of ACI. I'm not sure what.
I see in the chat, Dorjan. How do you pronounce your name?
So I'm not sure about that.
Dole Largent, president of ACI. What is ACI? African Community Institute. Great. Yes, we'd like to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Very much so. Um, and I'd like to know what you do in your in your organization.
Awesome. Yes, Penny. So I will wrap it up here, Penny. But again, thank you. We love always seeing you, and I hope
Namaste.
you. Yes. Have a great day.